Mary had a little lamb.
From the classiest radio station on the air, this is...
Welcome to the Black Rabbit's Curse, where every shadow hides a sinister verse. Hear the airs thick with dread and tales of terror twist in your head into the dark unknown, where fear takes root and chills the bone. Beware, dear traveler, for once you're here, the curse may linger year after year. The first thing the militia patrol noticed was the silence. Not the natural kind, not crickets, not frogs, not the faint rumble of water moving through the Carolina-Georgia marsh. No, this silence felt wrong, thick, like the swamp itself was holding its breath. A young militiaman named Carter whispered, "Why is it so quiet here?" No one answered. The swamp swallowed the sound of his voice as if it hated noise. Their boots sank into the black mud that smelled of rotten salt. Cypress trees twisted overhead, dripping strands of Spanish moss that swayed even without wind. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Through the air was summer thick with humidity. Captain Rollins, a man who hunted runaways for years, grunted, "They out here, hitting close." Everyone knew who he meant. The Maroons, runaways who had vanished into the swamp and built a life beyond the reach of white men. A community no patrol had ever broken. Rumors said they lived on floating huts. Rumors said they had drums that could talk. Rumors said the swamp protected them. Tonight, the patrol will find out which were true. They found a rope. It hung from a cypress branch like a noose, dripping with swamp water, but what made Carter step back was the marks carved in the bark. 3 circles, raw, fresh, cut deep with something sharp. "What the hell does that mean?" Carter said. Roland spat. "A warning?" But the oldest man in the group, a tracker named Hollins, whispered a different answer. "It means they see us." Before anyone could question him, water splooshed behind them. They spun. Nothing. But the water rippled as though something had slipped beneath the surface. Something big. As darkness settled, a faint sound drifted through the trees. Whistles, short, sharp, coming from everywhere and nowhere. Hans froze. "They ain't no birds," he said quietly. The others tightened their grips on their rifles. Rollins shouted into the dark, "Show yourselves!" The whistles stopped. Then, from the left, a low drum beat started, slow, rhythmic, like footsteps, like a heartbeat. From the night, another drum answered. The patrol formed a terrified circle, guns outward. "Captain?" Carter whispered. Roland's face was pale. "Hold steady," but even he was trembling because now the drums were getting closer. The drums were getting closer. And underneath them, voices whispering in a language none men could recognize. The torch flame flashed in the distance, just a spark, then another, then 6, forming a wide arc. Shapes moved behind them, silhouettes of people standing ankle deep in swamp water, unmoving, watching. Maroons? Roland's breath. But something was wrong. They were too still, too silent, like shadows wearing human shapes. One torch went out, not extinguished, crushed like something had grabbed it. Then another and another. Darkness swallowed them one by one, and the last torch died. The swamp erupted, screams splashing, the sound of bodies being dragged across the water. Carter fired blindly into the dark. Another man dropped his rifle and ran. Something yanked him back into the black water with a wet choke. Roland shouted orders no one could hear over the chaos. When the sounds finally stopped, only Roland and Carter remained. They backed away slowly, breathing hard. Then torches flared around them, forming a circle. Now the Maroons stepped forward, but they were not just people. Their skin was sprayed with swamp mud and ash. Their eyes reflected torchlight like animals. Their bodies moved in silence, feet gliding over mud without sinking. Behind them, half hidden by a shadow, Carter saw huts built on stilts, elevated above the water, glowing faintly with blue fireflies arranged in patterns. It looked ancient, scarce, untouchable. A tall woman stepped ahead of the others. Her hair was braided with river threads. Her chest bore the same 3-cent circle symbol carved into the tree. She did not speak with her mouth. Her voice arrived inside their heads. You enter the land that remembers. Rollins lifted his gun, but she only raised one finger. The gun rotted in his hands, wood turning soft and black, metal bending like clay. Carter screamed, dropping his own weapon. The woman continued. This swamp keeps the names of those bled here. The swamp remembers every lash, every child taken, every grave without a body. Behind her, the other Maroons began stepping into the water. As they did, the swamp itself rose around their legs like dark hands, lifting them slightly, carrying them alive, breathing, watching. Rollins tried to run. The swamp did not permit it. Roots shot from the mud, wrapping around his ankles, pulling him face first into the black water. He thrashed and screamed, but the more he fought, The deeper he sank, Carter fell to his knees, sobbing, "Please, I didn't do anything." The tall woman approached him. Her eyes glowed the color of deep water. "You followed them here." I didn't want to. I was forced. She touched his forehead with 2 fingers. Carter convulsed. He saw flashes, visions like the swamp was forcing memories into him. Enslaved families dragged through the mud. A child hiding under collapsed cypress roots. A man whipped until the dirt turned black with blood. Women giving birth in the swamp to keep their babies free. Maroons fighting back in the night, chasing Jeff over change. When the visions ended, Carter gasped for air. The woman stepped back. "Now you know. Now you carry it." She pointed towards the edge of the swamp. "Leave. Tell them. And do not return." Carter didn't wait. He ran through water, through vines, through darkness that felt alive. He didn't stop until he collapsed on the road outside the swamp, screaming for help. Years later, Carter never returned to patrol duty. He left the South entirely. But for the rest of his life, he heard whistles at night. He saw 3 circles sketched into every piece of wood in his home, on his door, on his bed, even on his skin, like faint scars. He woke some nights to his feet wet with swamp water, and he never forgot the last thing he saw as he fled that night. A row of Maroons standing in the dark, unmoving, their shadows stretching long across the water, and behind them, a massive shape rising out the swamp like a living mound of mud, roots, bones, and old memories. A creature older than the plantation, older than the swamp, older than the land itself, a guardian. Its eyes glowed blue, and in a rumbling voice that made the trees shiver, it whispered, "The swamp remembers."
Sit here.
The
Hearts
first thing the
racing,
militia
eyes
patrol
wide open.
noticed.
Remember, the terror doesn't end when the video does. You may try to forget, but the shadows have a way of following. The whispers grow louder each night, don't they? So go ahead, close your eyes, if you dare. But know this, you're not alone. Not anymore. But the Black Rabbit's curse has seen you, and it's waiting. So what happens when the lights go out? If you want to find out, make sure you come back. But next time, will you be ready? Sleep well. Or don't.